Hi guys, it's JB here. I'm just going to do a quick review of tonight's match that you've heard on the JB Clarets YouTube channel. I'm trying not to swear, that is for sure, but I just want just to make my feelings perfectly clear about the Burnley performance tonight. As you know, Burnley were beaten 4-1 by Manchester City, and when I mean 4-1, I say beaten, we were thrashed 4-1. It was almost a case of let's wave the red flag to Manchester City. It was just awful, terrible, and it also makes the Palace defeat that a little bit more difficult to stomach. My verdict of the game: we just didn't try, and it will reflect in the marking of the players. I just want to touch on Man City. Deserving of the 3 points, I felt. Jesus was terrific. I thought the first goal he scored was a great goal. You know, no goalkeeper in the world would have saved that. Second one, poor defending. Third goal, whacked in by Rodri. I did criticise Nick Pope a little bit because I felt he should have saved it. But now when you look at it again on analysis later, he's hit it at 66 miles an hour. So, you know, maybe I was giving him a little bit harsh. Maybe I was being a bit harsh there on Pope. Fourth one, poor defending again. Phil Bardsley had a shocker. We get one back through Brady, but the damage is done. And we just weren't positive enough tonight. And I think when you're at home against a team like City, who have been struggling a bit, we saw them, I commentated on them against Shakhtar Donetsk last week, didn't think they were great, but Shakhtar got it right tactically against Pep. Newcastle fought back, showed a lot of fight and hunger, and the spirit that you need. It was just from start to finish, and that was a little bit of rubbish. So I'm going to go on with the the marking. I'm going to start with goalkeeper Nick Pope. I'm going to give Nick a five. He had no chance on at least 3, maybe the 4 goals. I might be being hypercritical when I say he should have saved the third one. I think he gets a good hand on that. I know Russ says he's been impeded. I know he's got Raheem Sterling in his eye line, but I think that's no excuse. I think he should be saving that. I know the ball's hit at 66 miles an hour, as I pointed out, but I think that's savable. Sorry, but it is. He had no chance on the other 3, so he gets a 5. Phil Bardsley gets a 2. Absolute rubbish. Was made a muppet on Saturday, was made an even bigger muppet tonight by the likes of Raheem Sterling. Why isn't Matt Lawton playing there against a pacey guy like Sterling? I think it would have been a much better battle if Lawton had been playing. Bardsley, once again, I mean, he's a great defender, no holds barred and everything else, but against a player like Raheem Sterling, he's found wanting every time. His age is showing. So for me, he gets a 2. Wasn't good enough and was at fault on at least 2 of the goals. Eric Peters gets a 1. Why? The only reason he's in the side is because of Charlie Taylor's injury. There's no 2 ways about it. I never thought Eric Peters was a good enough signing. Sadly tonight, that's just proved it again. At fault, very slack, closing down. Allowed Bernardo Silva to have so much joy on that City right hand side. He was feeble from start to finish. Eric Peters gets a 1. He's lucky he gets a 1 because I tell you what, against a more mediocre opposition, he'd have got a 0 or a -2, -1 or a -2. So he's lucky he gets a 1. So he gets a 1. James Tarkowski gets a 6. Now he actually showed a bit of fight out there tonight. He put body on the line. He made some good tackles. He didn't let the side down. He did his best. So Tarkowski gets a 6. Ben Mee gets a 5. He didn't have his. I don't think he had a worst. I don't think he had a bad game tonight. In all fairness, Ben Mee. Again, like Tarkowski, showed a bit of fight actually. In fairness to him, showed that he cared a bit, and. He did all well. I think the 4 goals. You can't put them down to Tarky and me because they did their best. So Ben Mee gets a 5. He did all right. But I think the captaincy is waning down a bit. and I still think he needs to be replaced as captain because I don't think he can lead a side and defend well at the same time. Midfield, Lennon, 2. Didn't show anything as an attacking force at all. This is where we're missing. Johan Berg Goodman said, as soon as we get Gudmundsson back, I think we're a better team. Just didn't turn up, just couldn't be bothered, basically. I don't know why we're paying him good money. Wasn't in the game at all. He gets a 2. Now, McNeil, 40 did okay. He gets a 4. It might be a bit generous to some people, but a bit harsh. But he did all right. He didn't. There was a few occasions where he had a bit of joy down the left, but the final product just let him down. That's why he gets a 4. But at least he was trying to make things happen. At least he was putting sweat on the shirt and that sort of thing. But difficult. Now I'm going to get into the central midfield. Danny Drinkwater, 1. Not a very good game at all. He played 50 odd minutes and just wasn't good enough. It was a shocking performance. He's had one start before that, and that was against Sunderland, and that was another shocker when we were knocked out the cup. Knocked out the cup with a real whimper. Not good enough. I've said it before. I'll say it again. The guy's just turning up. He's just not good enough. He's a pale shadow of the player that used to play for Leicester, and I just don't think he's up the level anymore. I think he's past his sell-by date. He gets a 2. Jack Cork, 3, not in the game at all. Just didn't work. He tried his heart out, but 3 is the best I can give him. Just wasn't good enough when it came to the final third. Jeff Henrik, I don't know why Dash Pill. I'm going to give him 4. Jeff Henrik gets a lot of unfair stick from Burnley fans. He tried his best, but again, final product wasn't there. As for Chris Wood, he gets a 3. Didn't show. It just doesn't. Again, we can criticise the players for the way they gave City so much respect. Wood wasn't even in there. Didn't have a chance all night. Was poor, absolute poor. Whether it was the service, I don't know, but I think he should be doing a lot better than what he has done. So unfortunately, he gets a 3. Substitutes. J-Rod. He tried his best. Bless him. Tried to make things happen. Gets a 4. Ashley Barnes made a little bit of an impact when he came on with a free kick which Dwight McNeil took and had it well saved by Edison. He gets a 3. Barnes. He didn't. Apart from that, he didn't really affect things that much. Robbie Brady. No disrespect to him. He gets a 4. Purely simply because he scored at the end there, but it just wasn't. And so that's my marks of the team. As a team as a whole team, I'm going to give a 3 out of 10. Not 2 out of. In fact, no. I'm going to be a bit harsh on them. I'm going to be a bit more harder. I think they deserve at least a 2 out of 10 because that is just not good enough. I know people will say, well, you're being hypercritical, but it's Manchester City, they're the champions of the land. Doesn't matter. They're a depleted Manchester City side. That's practically the same team that have just drawn 2-2 against a very poor Newcastle side. Well, let's be fair. And we turned up and put in a performance like that. It's almost if we just we turned up tonight and said, come on, City, have 4 goals on us. That's how it felt. It was just the whole performance from start to finish was an absolute load of rubbish. Manager, Dyche, 1 out of 10. The goal saved face for me, Robbie Brady. Substitutions again happened when the game was probably out of our reach at 2-0. Should have made the changes at half time. Any Tom, Richard and Harry could see that the 4-5-1 wasn't working at half time. He should have changed it at half time. He wanted. I think he tried to wait until the second half, but the second goal killed the game as far as I was concerned. And by then we're chasing shadows. He tried to change it, but it was too late. But to set up 4-5-1 at home when City are there for practically for the taking was the most negative and the most worst thing he could have done. It's backfired on him badly, and he needs to have strong words in the dressing room, because I honestly think the attitude wasn't there, and it has to start with the manager. I'm not saying, look, Sean Dyche has done great, and me and Russ were talking about whether he should go. I don't think he should go, because I think he's still the best man for the job. But he can't afford to keep playing silly tactics like the 4-5-1. It just doesn't work, and he needs to play Jeff Emerick either in central midfield or out on the right hand side, because let's face it, the selection of Brennan was a poor one tonight. So Dyche gets a 1. Fans, a little bit quiet tonight, I've got to say. I'm going to give the fans a 7, but they'll walk with their feet, and if they see a poor performance from the Glads, why should they back them to the hilt? Because when you've paid £40 for a ticket and you see a negative lineup like that, you're bound to say something like that, and then they'll see what's happening out there today at night, and then they're saying what everyone else is saying. The fans, you can't criticise them for commitment, so I'm going to give the fans a 7. City as a team, I thought were good. I'll give them 7.5 out of 10. They didn't need to play well to beat us tonight. But Jesus, I thought, was their best performer. Took his goals well. Rodri's goal was a decent goal. Rao's was a good goal. But they didn't have to play well tonight to get the result, and that's the disappointing thing about it. Man of the match, probably we gave it Jesus, and I think I'm in agreement with what I chose Jesus as the man of the match because we had a tie. Nick Pope was there, but I'm not going to give man of the match to a guy who's letting 4 goals, and one of them he could have done better on. Yeah, it might be a bit damning the marking tonight, but the mark's out of 10. But that is my honest opinion, and as a Burnley fan, I can accept defeats if we try and make it a difficult game for the opposition. If we lose, if we'd have lost 3-2 or something like that, I wouldn't have. I would have taken that and said we've given them a game at least, and we've done our best. But considering we've been fresh 4-1, and it was a thrashing, it's unacceptable, and you can't accept a performance like that. So people might think I'm being harsh with the markings. Referee gets finally John Moss gets a 4. There weren't too many controversial decisions. I thought the booking for Henrik was a bit unfortunate, but it's a generous one for me to give a referee a 4. Usually I give them -1s or 2s, but John Moss gets a 4. But do you agree with what I thought? Let me know in the comments below. It was a disappointment, really, and we really do need to bounce back against Spurs on Saturday, otherwise it's going to be a long old December for us. Anyway, have a fantastic rest of your evening. I'll see you for the Merseyside derby commentary tomorrow night. Let me know what you thought of Burnley's Feeble display in the comments section below, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Ta-ra. Bye.